Great. The next question from Aaron, also by email. It's a very good question. In light of the feminine movement, the Me Too movement, etc., how can women be expected to be open to the scripture verse, "Women, be submissive to your husbands," when so much abuse has occurred in that regard?
Well, doing a lot of women's retreats over these years, this is, definitely one of those can be confusing scriptures, but I think the passage right before that says, "Husbands, love your wives," and basically serve them. Yes, there's unfortunately been too much abuse in demanding, submission, and I think when I do weddings, and I'll be doing one this weekend for family, I always remind them that, the gift of each other to each other is the new domestic church. And he is the head and she is the heart, and you cannot have a head without a heart and a heart without a head. And I would just say that complementarity of nature needs to continue to be unique and celebrated and to be in awe of, because we're not men, we're not women. Men aren't women, and women aren't men. And yet too often over the course of history, there's been just really great abuse in some of those situations.
Yeah. Maybe you said one real life example, but we'll start first where you ended, John. And that is when a husband loves his wife sacrificially, right? It's not about him, it's about you. It's easy to be submissive to that kind of love, right? Because it's on him first. It's on me first to love my wife that way. She'd be glad to follow me, all right? To submit to my idea, whatever. Because she knows that my number one priority is to love her, right? And care for her. So it starts with the husband. It's the husband's responsibility. I'll always remember the first time we brought the ministry to Africa. We're in Kenya. It's 2008. And we came back. And so now we're back the second time. And I remember a man running up to me, and again, my nickname is Spice. And so he's saying, "Spice, so happy to see that you came back. My life has changed due to Mark Men for Christ ministry." And he's just so happy. And I said, "Well, what do you mean it's changed? What's different?" And he goes, "Well, first, my marriage." He goes, "My marriage has never been better." I said, "Well, how did the ministry help you in your marriage?" Well, he said, "Well, I learned from going through Mark Men for Christ that husbands should not beat their wives into submission." You see, in that culture, that remote African culture, as part of the tribal heritage, that men would just beat their wives if they didn't do what they were told to do. Mm-hmm. And when he learned that he's supposed to love his wife as Christ loves the church, he stopped beating her. And all of a sudden his marriage flourished. And here he is telling me how his life has changed, first at home. You know how I responded? "I'm proud of you, Pastor." What? That guy was a church leader. Can you imagine? Not only did his home life change, but now as a leader of others, imagine how his church has changed. The men in his church are loving their wives better.